Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Maria, and today we're going to be looking at the newly released, it's the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow palette and two of the lip tints. Now also in this collection and in this beautiful packaging, they also released a special edition of their cleansing oil, and I wanted to pick that up as well, but for some reason that is not coming to New Zealand, because when I first started double cleansing, I think initially the very first cleansing oil I used was from Dermalogica, and then for about at least 2 or 3 years I used the Bobbi Brown cleansing oil, and it is just really beautiful. And because it was in that different sort of packaging, I thought I would pick it up, but unfortunately we can't get that here. So here is the outside packaging of the palette. It is really beautiful. I'll take it out, and the actual packaging itself mirrors what's in the cardboard box. So here is the palette. It is really beautiful packaging. I think Bobbi Brown do gorgeous packaging. So in here are 5 eyeshadows, and there is a shimmer, a sparkle, which is sort of like a topper. There are a couple of matte eyeshadows, and also an eyeshadow which they refer to as a metallic one. And this eyeshadow palette is made in the USA, so it's like a cardboard type sort of packaging, similar to a couple of the eyeshadow palettes. One was called Cobblestone Lane, I think, and I can't remember the name of the other one, but it's similar type packaging to that. So it has a magnetic top, and inside, as usual, it has a fairly generous sized mirror, and here are the shades. I think this is just such a pretty palette, really beautiful. And I did take swatches of this palette in natural light, so I'll put a picture of that up here so you can take a look. And I took that photo outside in direct sunlight. So on the Bobbi Brown website, it's the Australian Bobbi Brown website, it describes this palette as, the tagline is "New Season, Fresh Eyes," and it says, "Play your pinks any way you like with the limited edition Petal Wash eyeshadow palette from the Glow and Blossom collection. 5 spring-inspired shades capture the city in full bloom, where opportunity is limitless and beauty glows strong." I love the descriptions that these different brands give of their products. I think they're really lovely. So as I said, there are 5 shades in this palette, and what I will do is swatch them on my arm so you can take a look at them. So these are the shadows swatched from left to right. The first one is a shimmer, and that is called Mystic. Then we have Panoramic Pink, which is a sparkle, which is like a topper shade. Then we have a matte called Antique Rose. Then there is the metallic called Exit Rose. And last is also a matte, and that is called Mahogany. So I've already got my foundation on, and I've also got setting powder on as well, and a little bit of bronzer. The foundation that I've got on today is one that I bought quite a long time ago, and I really liked it when I tried it, and I'd sort of forgotten about it because I have so many foundations. But this is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. It's the Sheer Long Wear Makeup. This is in shade 3N2, and I'll just very quickly show you the bottle. But I've been wearing it the last couple of days, and even though it is a sheer foundation, I think it gives a really lovely natural finish. And I put 2 layers of the foundation on, and I think it gives sort of a strong light finish. But what I like is that it just evens out my complexion without feeling really heavy. I'm a huge fan of the Estee Lauder, the original Double Wear, and I still have that foundation. This is a lot lighter than that, and I just think it looks really beautiful. So first of all, I'm going to take the Rapha number 15 brush, and I'm going to go into the matte shade. It is called Antique Rose, and that is this shade here. And I'm just going to put that, I think, all over the lid. Now, I actually forgot to put eyeshadow primer on today, so be able to really see how these eyeshadows work and if they're pigmented enough and if they blend. I usually have no problem whatsoever with Bobbi Brown eyeshadows. I think that they blend really, really beautifully, and a lot of them are very, very soft shades and neutrals, and I just love them. And the day that I'm actually filming this video, this eyeshadow palette has been released at Selfridges, and when I did a Google search of it, it came out on the Bobbi Brown Australian site, but it's not actually loaded for sale yet. So I imagine that this palette is going to be released fairly soon throughout the rest of the world. By chance, I went to Auckland last week, or just the week before, and picked up some Chanel products, and one of the stores I went into by chance had this new collection for sale, so I grabbed it because I really love the Bobbi Brown eyeshadows. So next I'm going to go into that metallic shade that is called Exit Rose, and I'm going to take the Rapha number 14, and I'm just going to play around with this a bit. I'm going to pop this through the crease and just put it slightly above as well. I do find with the Bobbi Brown eyeshadows, they don't tend to emphasize the texture that I have on my eyes, so I think it should be okay putting it through here. Then I want to use the deeper shade, that is the matte shade called Mahogany. And I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the Worker 3, and I'm going to put that in the outside corner and put it just slightly above as well, just so you'll be able to see it. Then I'm just going to take the Sonia G, it's the Blender Pro, and just blend that out a little bit. The shades are blending really, really easily, which is no surprise. The other Bobbi Brown eyeshadow palettes that I've tried, they blend out really beautifully too. And I'm also going to put that darker colour on my lower lash line, but before I do that, I want to go into the first shade that I used. That's the Antique Rose, and this is a Sonia G, this is called the Soft Shader, and I just want to put that on my lower lash line first. I quite like layering eyeshadows under here. You probably won't be able to see it, this is a very soft shade. Then we'll take the Rapha number 3, go into that darkest shade, the Mahogany one, and run that under my lower lash line as well. And I'll also probably be using this shade to line my upper lash line too. And then I want to use that sparkle shade, which normally sort of perform like a topper, and it's called Panoramic Pink. And I'm first of all going to use the Rapha number 2, and I'll just see how that goes. I may have to use my finger as well, but I just want to try it first using this brush. It's actually quite pretty with the brush. And I've just wiped down the Rapha number 3, and I'm going to go into the lightest shade, and this is a shimmer. This is the one called Mystic, and I'm going to see how that looks in the inner corner. And using the dark shade, I'm just going to just line my upper lash line. So I've now put my mascara on, and this is the finished look. Gorgeous. I think this palette is just gorgeous. I love the Bobbi Brown eyeshadows. I think they do soft looks with a little bit of sparkle really, really beautifully. I think they just nail it. If you love neutrals and you love soft colours, but you can also get a bit of depth with these deeper shades, I think Bobbi Brown are just perfect for that. So now I'm going to put on some blush. The bronzer I used is from the Face and Cheek palette. This is in medium. Now this was limited edition, this palette, but I reach for it a lot. I did have a look on Nordstrom to see if there were any left, and there is some left, but only in the deep, not in the medium, but I'll still show it to you. So this is medium. And so the bronzer that I've used from this is in the shade medium, and I think it is really, really beautiful. I love the Bobbi Brown blushes. I love that you can put this shade on underneath here and then a blush over top, and you sort of get that really subtle sort of lit from within glow. I think it's really, really beautiful. So I'm just going to grab a brush to put this on with. I think today I'll use the BK Beauty. This is the 104. And first of all, I go into this here, and they call this the Illuminating Bronzing Powder, and this is in the shade Chelsea Glow. And how I use this, as I was just saying, just put some on my brush and I sweep that over my cheek first, and it just gives a very, very subtle glow. I think it's really flattering. I don't think it emphasizes the texture that I have. I just think it's really, really beautiful. And then I'll just go into the blush. This blush is the shade Tawny, and I'm pretty sure this was, or the shade was just for this limited edition palette. But I wouldn't be surprised if Bobbi Brown released something fairly similar, some sort of face and cheek palette again this year, and I hope they do, because if they do, I will definitely be picking it up. So now we'll take a look at the lip tints. These are in Bare Bloom and Bare Rose, and I'm pretty sure these two shades are limited edition. I've had a very quick look on the Bobbi Brown website, and under their lip tint section, these shades don't appear. So I think they are exclusive to this collection. Now the Bobbi Brown lip tints, that's exactly what they are. They are tints. They are very, very sheer, and I have bought two quite recently, one towards the end of last year, and it came out in that packaging, and this one is called Bare Pink, and then I picked the one up Bare Claret because it had this beautiful packaging, so I picked that one up as well. Now I think with the pinks you're probably hardly going to see them when I swatch them, but I will swatch these two shades as well beside these newer ones, just in case you have these shades, and if you like the lip tints, then you can decide whether you want to pick these up as well. So these lip tints are also made in the USA, and they have 2.3 grams of product. And here is the outside packaging. It is really beautiful. Bobbi Brown do have really gorgeous packaging. Just has the pull-off lid. And this shade here is Bare Bloom. So you can see just by looking at the bullet how very sheer they are. And this one is Bare Rose. So first of all, I'm going to swatch Bare Bloom, and you have to do quite a few swipes, as you can see, to be able to see it, but you can see it a bit better than I thought you could. Next is Bare Rose, so I'm just doing a few swipes so you can see them. And this is the other lip tint that I was talking about. So this is Bare Pink, and this one is very, very sheer. And this shade is Beer Claret. So there is a difference with the lip tints. This one definitely is more of a cooler pink, and the Beer Rose is different to these shades as well. So I have tried these lip tints on when I got them, and particularly this one, Beer Bloom, I don't think you could see it that well on my lips. So it really depends on the pigment that you have on your lips to begin with, but I'll still put it on. So I'll start off with Beer Bloom.
Stay another minute, let me hold you. You might be late for work, that's okay. Stay. Every day I get to know you. As
you can see, it is very, very sheer. It has a slight wash of colour, and these are described as more than a balm, and they do feel like a balm. They feel very, very moisturising. I think they have like 6 different types of oils in them, so they feel really, really lovely, but they don't feel sticky in any way. And because they are a balm type of lipstick, then they don't last for that long. But with something as sheer as this, you're easily able to reapply it without even having to look in the mirror. So I'm just going to take this one off, and then we'll put on Beer Rose.
I love it when you wake up, freckles with no makeup. I just want to take up all your time and stay put. Humor mixed with perfume takes over the bedroom.
So here is the finished look, and I love this eyeshadow. I think it looks really, really pretty. It blended beautifully, and I think it is such a gorgeous colour story for spring, summer. I think it's really, really beautiful. So people that like those type of shades, you'll really love this palette. It blended like a dream, and especially since I forgot to put eyeshadow primer on. I don't know why, I always use eyeshadow primer. I just forgot this morning before I started this video. They blended just as well as when I have eye primer on. I think they look really, really gorgeous. And I love the deeper colour in there too, so I can use it to line my lower lash line and upper lash line as well. The lip tints are really lovely. It really depends if that's the type of look that you're after. I think with this eyeshadow, I think either of the tints look really lovely. They're very soft and just give you a fresh sort of moisturised look to your lips. And if that's the type of look that you like, then these are really, really beautiful. So overall, I'm really pleased with this collection. I think it is, especially the eyeshadow, is absolutely stunning, and I'm thrilled that I picked it up, and I can now add it to my other Bobbi Brown eyeshadow palettes. So I'm excited to see what else Bobbi Brown brings out this year, because last year I just loved their products. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.